Alrighty, we are back. Today is a deeper dive into RTTS the show. This is going to be interesting. Everything I've seen about it, I've kind of liked. Again, when it comes to these sort of things, I'm going to change it up. I'm not going to react fully to everything. I wrote some notes down. We'll sort of go over the more important details. The last one was 40 minutes long. Don't necessarily want to do that again. So we're going to keep this one a little more concise, condensed down, and we'll go through it. I have some points to go over, and that's just part of the way we're going to do it. So instead of these like longer-ish things where I just basically break down everything, we're just going to go to the points that I think are necessary and all that fun stuff. If you need to see the whole thing, I will link it down below if you want to watch it. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of these live streams. I don't think they bring a lot to the table. I think the stuff they do is kind of interesting. It's interesting, but I how do I have my reservations about how they do this stuff personally. So again, we'll kind of look at what we need to look at and all that stuff and sort of skim through it. I think there's some stuff that's interesting, but I think most of this stuff is actually really, really good. So let's jump into it and see what we got. All right, so let me set this thing up here. It's kind of a pain because I have to click on this. I know I could do it before, but all right, so here we go. Let me pull up my notes and we will kind of go from there, and we'll start with it here. So we're just gonna have it go. I'm just gonna talk over this. So the first big thing they talk about is where all of this begins. So right now we sort of start, let me see if I can find it. They start off actually at when they start the high school, they talk about starting off at senior day. So basically one of your last handful of games is where you're going to be starting at. Now, this sort to me, like I said, it feels like they're going for a NCAA 14, NCAA approach. Oh, and they're talking about like different home run approaches and stuff. But that's where it's going to be starting, and then you go into college game. Starts at senior day, then you can go into the minors of college. They talk about the adding of the metal bats and stuff, and they got, at least like right here. Boop. It's going to load. The metal bats. They got way excited. They got way excited about it. No.
It was something that we knew we
Bang.
had to get.
And they talked about the chain link fences here again. Again, I could take it or leave it. I think it's a cool little iteration. For the ping, I know like everyone talks about, well, it's a college and high school baseball. I guess if we played it, you're kind of, you kind of miss the ping and the ding and all that fun stuff. All that stuff. I do want to jump to this. This is what I want to talk about next. So this is college interest, where you see sort of how it goes. So the school I almost went to, Cal State Fullerton, is here. You see the prestige. They're a 3-star. I think when they went over them, they actually talked about. Can I see it here? Yes, there we go. They went over this. So there's a little bit of info for everything, and this feels very much like NCAA. So it says location, Fullerton, hashtag Tusk Ups, notable alumni, Justin Turner, Matt Chapman, Michael Lorenzen. Once a dominant force in college baseball, Cal State Fullerton is ready to reclaim its throne. With your talent, we believe you're the key to restoring our legacy. Let's bring the glory days back together. They're a 3-star. Next up was TCU. We'll pause with TCU. Fort Worth, Go Frogs, Nick Lodola, Matt Carpenter, Jake Arrieta. We've been knocking on the door in Omaha, but we needed a game changer like you to knock down. Are you ready to bring home a championship with us? So again, these are the 2 3-stars. Tennessee is a 4-star prestige school where they talk about these developments. So there's these perks and stuff. So I think there's gonna be like there's 2 5-stars, Texas and LSU. Rest are 4-stars. So there's 3 5-stars, 2 3-stars, which talks about this sort of thing. So there's more things. There's exposure, skill development. And then you get this perk when you go there for power. Where was it? So Tennessee, for instance, very high exposure, a little bit, very good skill set, contact. Where talks about team goals. LSU Same thing, very high exposure, medium skill rate, one-on-one. And they have all this stuff where they talk about, there's a lot of stuff in detail. Same thing there where it was like they, for like UCLA here, where it talks about some of the other stuff after winning the championship 2013, they want to return. So they have, Garrett Cole, Matt McClain, Jackie Robinson. I think they might not have showed their perk individually. South Carolina, they had Clark Schmidt, Whit Merrifield, Nolan Arenado. They won back-to-back titles. The Vanderbilt, their launching pad is, they have Dansby Swanson, Walker Buehler, Ryan Reynolds. They had some guys, come through there. So there's all these like intricate sort of things. And then here's like the MLB stuff. So the one thing that was worth noticing here, we have to skip ahead again because they didn't mention it till here. I have to scroll over. Let me see here. We gotta do all this stuff. I gotta find it again. Hold on, please. Okay. So when it comes to this, where was it? Because they talk about the draft and the stuff you get from the draft. So initially, and this is how it works in real life, you can get drafted and not sign anywhere. So if you go to the pros, you begin as an 18-year-old, you get a signing bonus of 5 tokens, reduced chances of being fast-tracked to the big leagues, and you begin as an 18-year-old, you get 5 tokens. I think they showed they talk about the college route. Okay, so you receive all of LSU's benefits, pursue being the number 1 overall pick in a future draft, begin the pros as a 21-year-old after college completed. I want to let me break down this for those people who don't know. Outside of basketball, every college, if you go to college for the most part, you are there till your junior, which would be 21, depending on 2021, depending on your birthday and stuff. So you have to do 3 years. There are some colleges, I know I was being recruited, one of the things they asked me during the process a lot of times was 3 or 4 years, because there are some guys they're not going to throw it into here because they're they kind of, they'll be like, hey, we're playing the game here. It's going to be 3. But this does come up a lot of times where it talks about, hey, do you want to do the 4 years to finish or do you not want to do it? That does happen. Trust me. I had conversations with coaches and scouts when I was coming out of this. So when you look at this isn't necessarily the hugest deal. It's just, remember, you are going to be doing 3 years. Granted, it's not 3 years. I think they said it's 4 games. But that's just worth noting. But again, you're doing 3 years. We're probably doing 3 years anyway in the same amount of time. And plus, I think it's a different experience and you can do a little bit more because I would say, personally, you want to be 1-on-1. You want to be 1-on-1 personally. And so here was the pack. So this is sort of what they're talking about. So you get 20 tokens to spend on overall upgrades to perks and patches. You get their thing, which is power perk, and recruited, and then equipment that boosts some certain stuff, and you get some exposure. I don't necessarily know what the exposure is. They didn't talk about it here. And again, I'm not going to be putting you guys through an hour and 13 stuff. They did show what was in here here. So this is what you get. You just get some equipment. So they got game face. They got some cleats. That was 1 fielding perk. So this changes. This is also going to be changed. We'll get into that a little bit. We'll step back when we get into that. And when we talk about the stuff here, the effects and stuff. But here you get 1 field, boosting 1 perk, impacting base running, fielding, hitting, pitching perks. And then here, boosting 0 perks, base running and pitching. And then this one I think was fielding and pitching. So this kind of changes on that front. So that's what we want to talk. So that's that there. Let's jump back to and talk about the perks. So the perks and stuff here are going to be a little bit different. So going into perks and stuff, they talked about this, right? So these tokens right here, you can put individually into whatever you want. So if you want to be more of a contact hitter, you can be more of a contact hitter. You want to be more bunting. I don't know why you do bunting. Or you can do power. Now, up here, these are presets where you can do, if you're like, hey, I just want power, I want utility, a little bit of everything. Or you can min-max as you go. I'm sure there'll be plenty of guys, including myself, who will tell you, hey, these are the best things to do. To boost it, as you see here, here's your sort of, I think your overalls, and these arrows I think are boosts that you're getting from equipment and stuff. And equipment's different now. Instead of getting a flat number boost, they said it was a small percentage over a numeral boost. So instead, let's say you get 3%, a 3% handy boost instead of an 8% to contact, 8 points of contact to power. Usually this will work out better in the long run. Is percentage boosts are better. Personally, I mean, you're not going to get like 100, 150% boost, but if you get, a diamond thing and it's like a 10% boost across the board versus, I think the highest one in the game, I want to say is +8, +7 numerically. So even you'd be at 50 here, but you said 3%. It's a little bit better on the scaling side versus something else. So now let's jump over to perks. So looking here, so this is the triggers. So this is all, if you see here, all the following must be true for perk activation. So for rally time, off runner on first. So this will change to runner on first, runner on base as you sort of go up here. Offense is losing, 0-1 outs, home game, 7th inning or later. Now, one thing they did talk about here, let me jump ahead here to this. When you get the mastery here at the end, the effects here become 2. So for rally, and you get a contact boost of 30%, pretty good. Like I said, we're not going to see very high ones, but 30% is pretty good. That's basically that's a flat 3, basically. And opposing fielders have a 20% chance of making errors. Both of these will be activated when you get all this criteria. Now, for the record, this is interesting to me. Now, this is interesting because I don't know how many perks you're gonna get. So, like rally time, for instance, with these criteria, it's pretty good, and I think the benefits will be pretty good. Right? We don't know what all of them are, but they did mention that on the mastery, you do get both of these active, which is good from what, and +2, you saw here, this did go up from 20 to 30%. So halfway through, it's going to get up. And in terms of cost, this is what I really want to see. Did I slow it down? I might have. I did. The thing I want to see is I do want to know what the cost of all this is as we go along here. Could they show it again? So this is 4. So it's 4. Is it double? Is that how this goes? I'm trying. I'll bounce back and forth. So it does increase. So this increases as you go along here. God damn you. So 4, 6. Is it 4, 6, 8, 10? 4, 6, 8, 10. So from B. So it goes. So 4 to 6. So 10, 18, 28. So it takes 28 to get all of it. Now you get 20, so you're not exactly going to be there all the way, but you're going to get a good thing. And plus, you can spread this thing out as much as you want to. And they did talk about a lot of replayability, which I think is good for a mode like this. That it really, this element, and I said this, I think, on Tuesday when I brought it up, when I talked about it originally, that it feels more like an RPG element versus like a game mode that we've had prior where it felt very linear. This doesn't feel as linear. This feels like you can kind of go off your whole thing, right? You can sort of mold and play how you want versus where it was like, you're going to be doing this, and it was the same thing over and over again. I don't know how this will play out, but like I said, I kind of like this, especially, I mean, look, 28, I don't know how fast you're getting tokens and stuff, they didn't say, but I do like how this is all going, how it's going. Jumping on here, and it talks about the Combine. Let's see. So it talks about the Combine. So skill showcase, all that's. So this talks about the Combine that you're going to get. Draft stick monitor, which you can do regard. I think they talk. But if you skip, reduce chances to be a first round pick, reduce chances of being fast tracked to the majors, miss opportunities for player progression, no interest from colleges or programs. So it does kind of sort of say like, hey, go for it. And then again, this will tell you where you'll be, all that fun stuff. And again, to reiterate, you don't have to do this. So that's fun. Interesting. 5 tokens versus what? 4 tokens? So you get 1 more token for going to college, because this is probably where you'd be regardless of the situation. If you go that route, and then it just shows some other stuff, talks about, you know, different perks, all this fun stuff. Now, the one thing where do they show it? They did put, I think they showed, I saw a screenshot of Omaha. So it looks like they are going to put Omaha in here and something. And they talk about dynamic challenges. This is in the game to a degree. What dynamic challenges are essentially is, for one particular thing, if you do this, you drive an A run, you get 50, basically you get 50 EXP or 75 XP if you hit them, if you drive them all in. You have to drive yourself in. Is that what that means? Because this seems like the same to me. Don't leave any runners on. So I guess they're like, hey, hit yourself in too. You drive him in and you get it. I want to see, because they, which is all this stuff. What was this one? All that fun stuff. So then you can get drafted again. Like I said, I think they showed that you were playing in Omaha. Let's see if I can find that exactly. So this is the college baseball championships. For those who don't know, this is played in Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah, ballpark at Omaha. So it does sort of seem like Omaha's in here in some way. I think this will be pretty cool. I know a lot of people aren't necessarily the show people or anything, but I think this is cool. And then they show you this. I think they said this would be 4 games or something. So I think it adds a lot of depth to it. And then again, they end with the schedule here, talking about what's going on. So next week we have franchise. Looks like there's 2 next week. Franchises and Storyline Season 3. Feature premiere season storylines and franchise will be next Thursday. And then the following week we get DD on the 4th. And then early access begins on the 14th. So we're sort of picking up the pace here. We get a Legends trailer on the 11th. So they're holding back on a lot of stuff until the 11th. But again, we will be here for all of this. We will be talking about every single little thing until we get there, and then we'll start. And then we're going to start playing on the 14th, which will be nuts. So that's that. I think it's going to be a good little RP element. I know a lot of people weren't necessarily excited for Road to the Show in general. I made the comment in my Tuesday video. I remember when I was in college and I was watching people play Road to the Show over DD content at the time, and there were some really cool people who had some really cool storylines. I'd be glad if they did this again. I think it makes a cool element of storytelling for content creators, which, you know, you could literally make a documentary about your Road to the Show player if you really wanted to. That's how it could be and how it feels. But we'll sort of see how all this stuff goes, and we're gonna play all of it. We're gonna try to do most of it, at least in some capacity, and diversify the YouTube channel a smidge. But all that being said, leave a like, comment down below. What's your favorite part? Are you going to try this new Road to the Show mode? What college are you going to go to? Or are you just going to say, screw it, I want to go to the majors. I want to just continue the classic style of Road to the Show. Or are you going to try something different and go to school and try to dominate that way and dominate the college ranks, win a College World Series before you go and tell the team you're here to win? Gosh darn it, for the program. All that stuff. But have yourself a great day. Stay here for more MLB The Show stuff. We will be here next Tuesday for the franchise stuff, and then next Wednesday as well for Storyline Season 3, where you get to see a little bit more stuff. By the way, I do want to note that apparently this could be the last season. They Hendrick mentioned it at the Willie Mays game last year when he was being interviewed on Fox. That's their contract's only for 3 years. I don't know if they're going to extend it, but we will see. But I want to put that note out there, and we'll see how that goes. So that being said, my name is Specs, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.